Josh Adams, who gets loose at the line of scrimmage, nothing but green grass ahead of him. Touchdown, off of the hands of Phillips and into Drew Tranquils.
What an athletic play into the end zone by EQ.
To the end zone, and it's picked off. Touchdown, Durham Smythe. And now down goes Kai at the worst time possible.
Hello again, Irish fans, and welcome to this week's edition of Inside Notre Dame Football with Brian Kelly. I'm Jack Nolan, coming to you this week from the 7th floor of Corbett Family Hall, overlooking the field at Notre Dame Stadium. You just saw the joy in the Notre Dame locker room after the Irish won back the Megaphone Trophy with a dominating 38-18 road victory over Michigan State. Brandon Wimbush accounted for all 78 yards of the game's opening scoring drive as Notre Dame took a 7-0 lead a minute and 55 seconds into the contest. Then the Notre Dame defense got on the scoreboard as Julian Love made it 14-0 with a pick six less than 5 minutes into the game. The Irish D would force 2 more turnovers that the Irish offense would turn into touchdowns to make it 28-7 at halftime. And when the defense held Michigan State to a field goal on the first drive of the second half, followed by another Notre Dame touchdown drive, well, the game was, for all intents and purposes, over. At least that's what the Michigan State fans thought.
I mean, it's huge. We absolutely love that kind of a feeling. It's always nice to look up in the crowd, especially when you're at a place like this and see people walking out of the stands in the middle of the second half. You know that you're doing something right when things are going like that.
You know, this is just a statement win for us. We prepared all week, and we came in here knowing the big obstacle we had, and we just had to work together and accomplish our goals.
Inside Notre Dame Football is presented by TireRack.com and brought to you by Team Notre Dame partners Coca-Cola, Under Armour, and Gatorade. Inside Notre Dame Football is also brought to you by Bank of America, the official bank of Notre Dame Athletics, Vivid Seats, Canon, Xfinity, Delta Airlines, proud to be the official airline of Notre Dame Athletics, Nissan, Notre Dame Federal Credit Union, and SiriusXM.
We represent the greatest university in the world. Let's carry that pride tonight onto this field, and let's play for Notre Dame, and let's play for Our Lady. That's how we're playing today. I don't know what next week holds or the week after, 3 weeks down the road, but tonight, that's how we're playing this football game.
Caught beautifully.
What a play! Touchdown, Notre Dame!
The Irish find a way. Wimbush, draw play with room, breaks it back. First down, touchdown Irish.
What steps forward did your team take against Michigan State?
Well, I think, you go on the road in a hostile environment. I think the first thing you want to be able to talk about with your team is to handle the moment. And handling the moment means play with poise, play with confidence, and we certainly did that. Our first drive was clockwork, executed flawlessly to get up 7-0. And then defensively coming up with a pick six to go up 14-0. That's a statement on the road in a very hostile environment in East Lansing against Michigan State. So handling that moment is really important. That's a growth opportunity for our team that they took advantage. That's another step forward for our football team.
Brandon Wimbush was quizzed about his passing ability after BC. He himself was unhappy. How did you put him into a situation where he was able to be so effective, including that first drive, 4 or 5 for 61 yards?
Well, first of all, we knew what he was capable of, and he knew what he was capable of. So he went back to work. See, we live in much different settings in a sense that we focus on the day-to-day, and we focus on getting better every day. They have a great deal of confidence and pride in their ability. So Brandon went to work, had a great work week in terms of the little things that were necessary for him to throw the ball with the effectiveness that we know he can. I thought Chip Long did a great job of crafting the opening drive with some high percentage throws for him to get comfortable. I call it the Tom Brady effect. Tom Brady likes to have a couple of passes early on just to get into some rhythm, and I thought he did a great job of executing that.
So you have the Spartans a little bit on their heels throwing the ball, but the touchdown scored by a quarterback who can really run from 16 yards out.
We get into a 2-by-2 set. He's got the ability to throw the ball on the perimeter. If they cover down the throw, then the numbers work pretty good for us to run a draw in that situation. And it was a quarterback draw. Sam Mustipher had a nice block on the middle linebacker, and Brandon Wimbush is pretty good at cutting off that block.
You were just 5 minutes in the game and it's 14-0. I mean, what does that do for a team? What did you sense on the sideline? How did your team react to that? Did you feel like we've got this right now? We just have to continue to maintain our level?
No, I didn't sense that at all. I mean, I think really the interception obviously is a jolt of energy, but I think the first drive really, more than anything else, kind of set a tone that we're going to be here for a while. And we talk about 80 plays, we talk about 4 seconds of play, and so we're not too far ahead of ourselves. We know that we're in it for 4 quarters and that we're going to keep playing. I never sensed the giddiness on the sideline because that's not what we're after. That's not how we're built. We're built to play for 4 quarters, keep playing, and at the end, we'll look up at the scoreboard and see what it says.
It's ironic that the offense was even a question because coming into the season, most outside observers believe you're going to score. Can you stop anybody? Not only are you stopping people, you're taking the ball away and scoring on those turnovers.
Opportunistic is a word that you like to have in college football because it means you've taken advantage of mistakes. The nice part about it is that we're forcing those mistakes. You're not just dropping the ball on it, we're taking it away. Sean Crawford has been a guy that's been in the middle of it, but this first one was Julian Love, just playing the coverage the right way, stepping in front of a Lewerke pass and taking it to the end zone. Huge play for us. And then later, Greer Martini tracking down Lewerke again. Lewerke tries to move the ball into his other hand and he strips it loose, and then we score subsequently. And that's the big thing. The ability then to cash in those turnovers change really the complexion of the game.
Sean Crawford's forced fumble at the goal line has got to be one of the great defensive plays since I've been here.
Yeah. Never giving up on a play. Scott comes free, breaks through on a counter play, which we didn't fit very well. But he comes from the offside and doesn't quit on the play, punches at the football like we practice every day. And that's what I hope our viewers really tune into. This is what Mike Elko's defense does every single day. If you come to our practice, you will see that drill every single day. So our kids are working on it. It's just second nature for them. He punches at the ball, gets the ball loose, and follows the ball through to the back of the end zone and subsequently falls on it. And that's the kind of player he is, and that's the trait that we're building with this defense, is that they want to be a smart defense, and that was smart football right there.
And that's what stood out to me. Maybe it's obvious, but I don't know how many times you've seen a player make that play and the ball falls to the end zone, everybody stops.
Yeah, he didn't
stop.
Finish the play.
Had he not fallen on the ball, it could have ended up being a touchdown.
No question. He finishes the play, and I think it's a great illustration of finishing the play, never taking anything for granted, no matter what the circumstances are. And it's just it'll be another clip for our guys to see defensively about finish, whether it's offense or defense or special teams. Finish.
3-1 now, with the only loss to a top 10 team that deep down everybody on this team feels you should have beaten. But is this team where you thought it would be? Because some would say this is a quick turnaround at this point. Long way to go. It's not done, but you've come a long way in 4 weeks.
We've made good progress. I think there's progress to be made. I think I like some of the traits that we're developing in terms of, our focus is much better. We're playing smarter. Our physicality is much better. I think we're preparing ourselves in a manner that is allowing us on Saturdays to play a different style of football. And a lot of this is intentional, right? We went back in January and we kind of retooled in terms of where I felt like we needed to move the needle differently. And it's coming together. Half empty would say there's some things that have to be improved, but who doesn't have that, right? Everybody's looking to improve. Half full would tell you 16 touchdowns rushing, 1 let up. That's a pretty good start in the basic tenets of football. Run the football to win, defend it, and you're in pretty good shape.
The victory over Michigan State marks the first time since 1983 Notre Dame has won back-to-back road games by 20 points or more. The Irish accomplished this feat with a potent offense and an aggressive defense, which led to Notre Dame scoring 21 points off turnovers against the Spartans. This kind of performance is starting to become a trademark of the 2017 Irish. On the season, Notre Dame has outscored its opponents in points off turnovers by a 56-3 margin.
Notre Dame, Michigan State, a series that dates back to 1897. Who will claim the Megaphone Trophy?
Revenge is definitely on their minds. They won't play this team again for 9 years.
You're the better football team. Go out and prove it now. You're ready. The bright lights are on. Let's go perform.
A sellout crowd of over 75,000 is ready to watch one of the great rivalries in college football. Let's go! Let's go!
Wimbush looks. Long ball downfield. Receivers out there.
Great job, Collins.
Quinnipiac St. Brown.
And what a spectacular catch.
Calls his own number, runs up the middle. He's dancing inside the 5, and he's in. Brandon Wimbush with his 7th running touchdown of the season.
Yes!
This is going to go the distance. Julian Love, touchdown, Irish.
Thinks about running it. Fires! Touchdown, Irish.
Oh my goodness, they're saying that was a fumble and it was recovered by Notre Dame in the end zone for a touchback.
Cuts it back with a huge hook. Over the middle. Caught. Dexter Williams. Bursting. Cutting.
Turning up and turning in. Touchdown, Notre Dame.
David, come on. Hey, that's what I'm talking about, boy. That's how you finish that thing.
Notre Dame forces 3 Michigan State turnovers and head into the locker room with a 28-7 lead.
Be ready for this quarter. Take it to them. If you've got energy and you've got enthusiasm and you've got love for this game and this university, we take it over in this quarter and we end this football game.
Sir.
Everything you got right here. Sit still. This drive.
Sanders, he's across the 30.
Time lines up. Sideline. Chase Claypool. First down. Irish.
Wimbush hands to McIntosh.
Go, Deion. Go, Deion.
McIntosh go all the way in. Touchdown, Notre Dame.
All right, Jerry, let's go, bud. That's it, man. Come on, dominate this drive.
And now the Spartans will go for it on 4th down. Notre Dame stands tall, stops Michigan State, and takes over the ball. Now, Notre Dame dominated in every facet of the game for 4 quarters. Game is over, and Notre Dame defeats Michigan State 38-18.
That's the microphone! Great job, offense. But what's apparent is who we're becoming defensively. We're taking the football away from them. The guy that's in the middle of that is Sean Crawford.
There is no question the rover position is a perfect fit for Notre Dame defensive standout Drew Tranquill. On the season, Drew is Notre Dame's 4th leading tackler, and he was Notre Dame's 4th leading tackler against the Spartans with 6 stops, a sack, and a pass breakup, earning him the right to run this week's 60-second drill. Favorite all-time movie?
Shawshank Redemption.
First car you ever drove?
Ford F-150.
One thing the public would be surprised to learn about you.
Well, they already know I went to Iceland to propose. I sucked my thumb until I was 12 years old.
Favorite spot at Notre Dame?
The lakes.
Player on the team most like you?
Sean Crawford.
Favorite food?
Dad's cooked steak.
One thing you always hear from Coach Lee in practice.
He always asks us who's the battle against. We say ourselves.
Which is better, a sack, a forced fumble, or an interception?
Interception.
Toughest player to tackle on the Notre Dame team?
Tony Jones.
Hardest hitter on the team?
Miles Morgan.
Best singer on the team?
Myron.
Best dancer on the team?
Woo.
Best dresser on the team?
Brandon Wimbush.
Worst dresser on the team?
Jay Hayes.
Best thing about playing for Notre Dame?
The fans, the tradition, the opportunity to get an incredible education and play with great people.
Drew Tranquil, you've completed the 60-second drill in Inside Notre Dame Football.
Thanks, Jack.
There were so many plays to pick from for this week's Notre Dame Ticket Exchange, powered by Vivid Seats, Play of the Week, but one play stands out. With Notre Dame leading 21-7 in the second quarter, Michigan State seemingly was about to conclude a 74-yard touchdown drive with a 14-yard run when Notre Dame quarterback Sean Crawford separated the ball from Spartan running back L.J. Scott at the goal line and then recovered the fumble in the end zone, taking an MSU touchdown off the board and setting up an Irish touchdown drive.
As L.J. Scott was crossing the goal line, he didn't have possession of the football. He fumbled again in the end zone when he tried to recover it. And Sean Crawford was there after the strip to make the recovery and give Notre Dame the football back.
It's time now for the experts at TireRack.com question of the week for Coach Kelly. This week's question comes from Deems Utsumi of Honolulu, Hawaii. Coach, how difficult is it to adjust to the officiating crew each week? Or is that really a non-factor?
There are certain crews that you know will call a game slightly differently. But as a coaching staff, we're prepared for it because we know that these crews by conference have different interpretations of the way they see things.
The Irish returned here to Notre Dame Stadium this weekend to host the Red Hawks of Miami. Miami is 2-2 this season and coming off a big road win at Central Michigan. Miami's head coach is a familiar face to Irish fans, Chuck Martin, who served on Brian Kelly's staff at Notre Dame from 2010 through 2013, the final 2 years as quarterbacks coach and offensive coordinator.
If you look at the other two games that he lost, he had Cincinnati down by, I think 11 points or so late in the game. We know what the Mid-American Conference has already done and can do to Power 5 football teams. And this is a team that could very well win the Mid-American Conference. So this is a good football team that's coming in to South Bend. So we'll have to be prepared. We'll have to play well.
That will do it for this week's edition of Inside Notre Dame Football. We'll be back next week to break down all the highlights of the Notre Dame-Miami University game. Until then, thanks so much for watching, and as always, go Irish.
Inside Notre Dame Football is presented by TireRack.com and brought to you by Team Notre Dame partners, Coca-Cola, Under Armour, and Gatorade. Inside Notre Dame Football is also brought to you by Bank of America, the official bank of Notre Dame Athletics, Vivid Seats, Canon, Xfinity, Delta Airlines, proud to be the official airline of Notre Dame Athletics, Nissan, Notre Dame Federal Credit Union, and SiriusXM.